toy.
We're wanted men. I have spoken.
Oh, Lord. Welcome to episode 270 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. The reason why I'm dying laughing is as soon as I hit record, Jason put on his Life Day outfit. He's dressed up as Chewbacca with the red cape and the mug, and he even put on a Chewbacca mask.
That's Jason.
In
I
here.
thought
I
that
gotta
was
take this
I
off.
thought that was actually Chewbacca.
Wow.
I thought I could make it work, but
Oh.
the thing knocked my headphones off, and but whatever. I still have my Life Day hoodie that I got from the Disney outlet, a Snuggie
Snuggie.
that I got from the Disney outlet for like $5.
I wish I would have picked one of those up. I didn't know they got down to $5. I would have
Yeah.
I would have spent $20 on
It
one.
says Life Day right there. This is the best thing that came out of Life Day. It's nice and heavy, and it says Star Wars somewhere, but I got this years ago.
Excuse me, sir. I believe the B. Arthur musical number is the best thing to come out of Life Day.
Just one more round, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Speaking of dreams, I don't get those anxiety-based dreams, but I had one this week.
Uh-oh.
And it was really, really weird because I never had these. And it was 1:00, and we were rolling into the hotel set up for Rogue Fun. And we get into the ballroom, and everyone's there already.
Oh.
And I'm just like, and I woke up and I'm like, that was weird.
you can't even set up because everybody's there, and it's just
Everyone's
like, F it.
there.
Here we go.
Did you just go ahead and recheck the dates just in time, just to make sure?
Yeah, I woke up and I'm like, okay, good. We still have 5.5 months.
Okay.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Hey, at least you. But the real question was, were you naked?
No.
Okay, good.
No,
I
he was
don't
wearing his
understand
Life Day
why
Snuggie.
that's one of your questions, but
Yeah, why was that one of your questions?
Because that's just normally like you have a dream like that, and it's like, and I wasn't wearing pants.
no, I'm wearing pants. I'm properly dressed no matter where I go, even in my dreams.
I was actually wearing Glenn's pants.
That's a different dream.
Oh, jeez.
Dang it. I need to get these 3D printed droids out of here.
Yeah.
They're just covering my desk.
Does that mean your Star Wars room is a droid factory?
Right now it is, yes. I've
Yeah.
been 3D printing droids for weeks now. I'm done. And anyways, how are you? I'm fine.
We're all fine here.
We can go through pickups real quick. Jordan, pick anything up? Hit any Rosses lately?
Actually, yeah, I was on my way home from work, and there's a Ross a couple blocks over, and I decided to stop in.
The Cartersville one?
Which one?
The Cartersville one?
Yeah, the Cartersville Ross. And a few weeks ago you had mentioned that you found the Dedra Miro. And I've been trying to find, because that's like one of the ones from that wave I wanted, and I never got around to getting. So when you said it was there for like $6, I've been kind of stopping at every Ross, and I still haven't come up with anything. But I know like the big thing is that everyone, even people, probably some people on this podcast have been looking for the Sabine lightsaber.
Yeah.
And I didn't see one, but I was very fortunate that my buddy Tony said he had one he would sell me if if I couldn't find one.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put it out there that I had a friend named Tony, or I have a friend named Tony, who reached out to me personally that would told me he would sell me his Sabine lightsaber because he found one.
Right.
Looks like we've got a bidding situation here.
Oh, damn it.
The value
I
of the
told him
lightsaber's gone
I told
up.
him I'd give him $31.
Fine, 35. 35 and 1 penny.
All right, Dwight.
35.26. Not a penny more.
Oh, good thing I got 27 cents in my pocket. 35 and 27 cents.
All right. Well, you know what? I lost this one.
Yeah.
Damn.
But no, joking aside, Star Wars pickups. I think I don't think I have anything recent Star Wars wise. I think the last thing I picked up was the newer Black Series Chewbacca and Han Solo that came out in that recent wave.
Yeah.
And I did buy one of the Halloween. I bought the Mummy Night Trooper.
Mm-hmm.
Because I,
Oh, nice.
I thought that one was pretty fun. So I snagged that one. I'm kind of hoping Hasbro goes back and does different versions of the Halloween Clone Trooper.
Mhm.
Only because I think it would look really cool with glow in the dark. Like if they did a black clone trooper with the glow in the dark bones, or if they did it the other way around, a glow in the dark body with the black bones. I think that would be a good look. I'd probably pick up a couple of those. But
No, they never repaint.
No,
no,
well, actually, that would
especially
be a
clone
smart
troopers. They
repaint.
never reissue any of those.
No,
Right.
no, never.
But
Why will yeah. You see the smart stuff like that, because if they would just every year do a different trooper like that, it'd be smart. But they don't think about it. They don't do that.
non-Star Wars stuff though, I have to show this guy. I just finished off my masterpiece Transformers Bruticus.
Damn.
And this dude is massive. He's like 24 inches tall, something like that. So
Yeah.
I've been pretty excited to have this. I've actually been slowly building this guy over the course of a year, and the last piece came out I got it the day before Halloween, so I've been having a lot of fun with this stuff. But that's pretty much it for pickups for me. I've been trying to do a quote unquote no figure November for myself, where I just try not to spend money on toys and just enjoy what I have.
Yeah.
I failed because I did buy something. So you know, Mythic Legions, Four Horsemen, they do their Legions Con, and they had a surprise figure Obscura drop, and
nice.
they released another figure in their Gods of Egypt subline of figure Obscura. So it was Toth, and so I was like, all right, well, I need that. So I had to break edge for that.
Yeah.
But that's all I got recently, honestly.
So you had to, for that transformer, you had to buy like one transformer at a time for like a year to assemble that sucker.
Yeah, the company is called Magic Square, and
So it's not a Hasbro piece.
No, it's third party. And it's all masterpiece scale. So they're a little bit more on the pricier side. But it worked out because I think they released, there's 5 of them, and I think they released one every 3 to 4 months. So the first one came out September of last year, and the last one came out halfway through October last month.
And there's a third party that's making transformers. That's an official transformer.
No, it's not official.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. It's third party, but it's not official. There's a lot of third party transformer companies.
So it's not a transformer. It's like a transdormer.
It's a transmorpher.
Transmorpher.
Morphin time.
Yeah, this company specifically is called Magic Square.
Yeah,
Okay.
my buddy that does Transformers is like, why would I spend money? He can't get his head wrapped around the third party stuff, because he's like, by the time I buy like 2 or 3 third party things, I can have one vintage thing. So he'd rather spend his money on vintage stuff. So he doesn't do it. But
No, I think I mean, it's his collection. He can collect
Right.
his collection however he wants to collect, right?
Right, yeah, but
I also think that that's a fair statement. Like, you
right.
know,
No, but I think the third party, I think it's cool that they do third party stuff, because, you know, if somebody did that on Star Wars, Hasbro would shut them down. You know,
Well, I mean, you can't do Luke Skywalker, but I mean, that looks like a transformer without being a transformer.
right.
Like,
So
if somebody
this
else,
isn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
somebody outside who doesn't collect transformers, I thought that was a transformer.
Mm.
But if someone were trying to hold up like a Star Wars figure, I'd be like, that's not Star Wars.
Right. And, you know, these guys aren't their actual trademark names. Like, the Combiner is called Bruticus, but this is not Bruticus. This is Lord of War. So,
Which is what Bruticus stands for or something, right? Or
I mean, he's all just, I mean, he's made up of combat vehicles. So,
oh, there you go.
yeah.
Awesome.
I didn't
What
pick
about you
anything
guys?
up.
You guys know nothing?
No, this week was a quiet week. I didn't pick anything up. But there's not much happening right now. You go to
Yeah.
when I go to Target, there's like nothing on the store shelves for Star Wars. Very, very little.
Did
If it's not pre-ordered, then I'm probably not getting it.
Right. Did you ever end up getting that Black Series Dash Rendar figure?
Yes.
Okay, I still need to get that. I got the Shizor. So
Which like those two I doubt will ever hit store shelves.
yeah, I just need to
The
get
Black
it.
Series. Shizor. I've seen Shizor in the outlet.
Outlet?
Yeah.
Which one?
The Disney outlet. I should have bought him.
Well, the Shizor was a fan channel, so which just is a fancy way of saying not big box.
Okay. But you talking TVC or Black Series? Because I
Black
saw.
Series.
Black
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah. I should have bought that damn thing.
It's a really cool Black Series figure with a lot of uh attitude, I guess, in the posability.
Hmm.
It just there's just a lot there,
Mm.
which
Yeah.
is nice for a change with the Black Series. It's
There's
not
also just
static.
something special about Shadows of the Empire, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
So
extremely special. I still need to pick up that 2-pack with Luke and Leia as Bosch and
mm.
the Imperial whatever
I can't
soldier.
wait until we get a buzz cut Chewbacca.
I don't think
I've seen customs on eBay. Someone has showed me those. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I don't know if they'll do that because it's a brand new sculpt of Chewbacca that they can't reuse after they make the one figure. So I doubt
They'll
Hasbro's.
find a way. Don't worry. They'll find a
Right.
way.
Now they'll make him
Um,
a Halloween
Yeah,
figure or
they'll
something.
make him an army builder or something.
I don't know. Don't hold your breath. That's all I'm going to say. But how about you, Glenn? Did you pick anything up?
No, I'm still recovering from my Nashville trip, so I'm kind of. And plus, it's Christmas time. You're kind of just waiting, waiting to see if you get anything or not buy anything so that you can get stuff for Christmas. But yeah,
The spending freeze in your house is what you're saying.
pretty much.
Except you buy for Mandy and Mandy buys for you.
Exactly. That's if we even do with it. We don't do. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because we buy stuff for each other throughout the year. So when it comes to Christmas, we're like, oh yeah, I think I got you something. But
I'm checking my watch here. It's time, Glenn. Do you want to talk about dragons?
yeah, yes, I saw dragons. No, I didn't. Nothing happened with dragons this week.
I have limited news, and then we can get into the main topic.
I didn't watch How to Train Your Dragon this week, Jason. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Speaking of dragons, The Legend of Zelda started filming this week. Oh wait, wrong show. Sorry. A new book has hit the store shelves called Star Wars Masters of Evil by Adam Christopher. And in it, it explains why Palpatine is so weak in Rise of Skywalker, and it's tied to the loss of Darth Vader.
Okay.
The master feeds off the fear and anger of his apprentice. So without Darth Vader, he wasn't as strong as he used to be. So to quote the novel, it said, "It is the apprentice that makes the master, not the master that makes the apprentice." So without Darth Vader to feed his dark side abilities, he's not himself.
Oh,
Is that a new? That's a new thing, isn't it?
That's a new book. Yeah, that's the
yeah.
first time that's been said.
Right.
It's
Which,
interesting because when you think about the Plagueis Palpatine dynamic, I mean, I know that was in a Legends book, so, and I don't know if they've since updated that story or not.
not
or if-
really.
but yeah, applying that concept to Plagueis was already, half dead anyway. Whenever,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
interesting.
And then the other piece of news that came out, the Lucas Museum is officially opening its door on September 22nd, 2026. So that's been all over the social media feed. So I'm doubtful this is news to anybody, but yeah, that museum will be open in September.
A year before celebration, so they'll have a year to knock the kinks out.
Yep.
Well, you know what most podcasts say, if you're hearing it here first, you're hearing it here last.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's something I'd like to see. I mean, if I did make it to Celebration in Los Angeles, it would definitely be on the list. I mean, I think, when you look at it, I think that's why they put it out there, was so that they can get some foot traffic to that museum.
But how far is it from Anaheim?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I guess
No, it's
it's
Los
just more of
Angeles.
a.
It's not in
No, I
Anaheim.
know, but I'm
Right.
saying LA seems to be a horrible choice because I don't think Lucasfilm realized that the whole complex is going to be in construction for the next couple of years. It's
Right.
going to be under construction during Celebration.
There's worse choices Lucasfilm has made.
Yeah, like Life Day, the
No,
holiday
like
I don't know,
special,
man.
the
holiday special. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to introduce Jordan. So he's just like
Oh,
here, and everybody's like, "Who is this guy?"
who?
Yeah, there's somebody else here, but we got our buddy
I'm
Jordan on
Hi.
on the show with us. Jason threw me off dressing as Chewbacca, so Jordan's here. So hi, Jordan.
Hi, how's it going?
It's good.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah.
From the Mutineers.
Yes, the Mickey Mutineers.
We don't talk about that show.
We don't talk about mutineers.
But yeah, last week we were talking about some of the more modern stuff like crossovers.
Mm.
And I had asked you if you had any opinions on the crossovers because they're just exploding everywhere. This week I saw that there's a Sonic and DC crossover where there was it Knuckles and Green Lantern or Knuckles and Superman figures and
Yeah.
Funko. Funko was doing that too.
Yeah.
So I
That
guess
didn't surprise me though.
is this yeah, with Funko, I mean they'll do anything for a buck.
I mean,
Um,
these days they need it, but
Yeah.
but
But
it
I
was only a
mean,
matter of time before the bottom of that fell out.
is this a gimmick to because they've hit the creative bottom of the well, these crossovers?
I don't know. I think I don't think so. I think first off, I am not a contrarian, Jason. Thank you very much. As I realize the irony in saying that I'm not a
Yes.
contrarian.
Yes.
That was the joke.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't necessarily think so. I think these it looks like they're dominating the shelves now, but I
Yeah.
feel like a year from now, 2 years from now, we're not going to see a lot of it. I
Hmm.
think I think Mattel specifically because they've really been going hard with the mashups with Masters of the Universe and various
Turtles.
other toy lines. They
Yeah.
did well. They started doing Masters of the like back in 2020. They did the WWE crossovers with Masters of the Universe,
Yep.
and then they did recently the Turtles, which was crazy because I think within a year we got like 4 or 5 waves of figures, which was they had to have those locked and loaded and ready to go before like that first wave had even probably been released. And then they pivoted. Now they're doing what is it, the Thundercats. I actually do have one of the Thundercats. It's right over here. I've got the Battle Cat man. So
That one
um,
actually looked pretty good. If I would
yeah,
have been Four Horsemen, I'd have been mad about that because that one definitely reminded me of Four Horsemen.
right. But the Four Horsemen one isn't Battle Cat. It's Koaros. So
Four
they
Horsemen's
can't
kind
get
of
mad.
ripping off of them anyway.
Well,
So
Well,
they all
no, they do have a
sculpted that
Battle
stuff
Cat
anyway.
though,
They
but it's a
uh,
different. They changed it.
it's right,
It's
but it's not officially Masters of the Universe, right?
right,
right, right. It's War
It's a
Cat. It's
tribute
different.
figure.
right.
It's
Oh, it's third party.
it's not third party. It's
But
just
you know what I mean.
right.
Yes.
It's with Four Horsemen, it's more of like a tribute figure because a lot of those guys worked
Right.
for Mattel whenever the 2000X figures were coming out and sculpted those, and also sculpted the it was like 10 or 12 years ago was the Motu Classics line that you can only get through like the Matty Collector website.
Uh-huh.
It was like some of the first figures that cost $25 a piece, and people, I mean, Masters of the Universe fans were buying them because that was all they could get at the time.
Right.
But the Four Horsemen sculpted a lot of those, so a lot of that stuff ended up trickling into their Mythic Legions wave.
Right.
Um,
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I would have been mad, but it doesn't matter that not mad at Mattel, but mad at the fact that, oh great, now there's a figure competing with our figure, but that one's been sold out forever, so it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that the production on that figure has been done for years, That year at Toylanta when you and I bought one, Glenn, that was like the last of the stock. And at that point, I don't think they had been, produced in about a year or two.
Right.
So, but Jason, to get back to your questions, I do think that there's a lot of it going on now. I don't think that you're going to see a lot of it in the next handful of years, or you might. I don't know. I really can't predict the future, but I think Mattel specifically has figured out something to at least drive in revenue, or at least figures that will sell. And the Venn diagram for the people buying any kind of crossover has to line up pretty well, I think. And some of them are hits, some of them aren't hits. I do own a handful of mashups myself. I have the Ghostbusters, the Transformers Ghostbuster, the Ecto one.
Yeah.
I did pre-order the DeLorean, that's getting a reissue, and I do have the two Universal Monster Transformers mashups. And I think whenever it comes down to that, I think it's really just more collector specific. Like I love Universal Monsters and I love Transformers. Never in my life would have thought that that would be a mashup. So like the Venn diagram for those for me is practically a perfect circle.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm the target market for
Right.
that.
What were those two transforming into?
There was a Frankenstein's monster they called Frankentron, and he turned into a
A
tank.
windmill.
He should have turned into a windmill. Actually, he should have turned into just body parts.
Yeah.
Right.
um,
Just an arm.
yeah. Slight side tangent. Did you guys watch the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yep.
Moving on.
We can get back into it.
We can, yeah, we'll put a pin in that. And then they did a Dracula figure from a Transformers character that turns into a bat, which I thought
Okay.
was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes more sense than Frankenstein's turning into a tank or Frankenstein's
Well,
monster.
if I can go on a little bit of a Transformers tangent, there was a lot of talk in the Transformers collecting community whenever the Frankentron figure came out,
Uh-huh.
because Transformers at that time had specific figures, and its sole gimmick was that you could take the arms and legs apart and put them on other figures as armor.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't choose to make the Frankentron out of one of the bots you could take the body parts
Oh,
apart from. And I thought that that was a missed opportunity.
Yep.
right.
But I understand they probably had a secondary buck they wanted to get another use out of, which isn't out of the question for practically anything Hasbro does these days. But
Right.
I think the mashups, not all of them are my cup of tea, but you won't catch me buying that DC Sonic mashup.
Yeah.
There was a Sonic Transformer set that I could, very much care less about. And I think it all like there's a target market for it out there, and I'm just not it
Right.
for a lot of them.
I just don't understand the appeal of it. I understand from like a marketing perspective, if you have wrestling figures and you mash it up with Masters of the Universe, maybe those people buying wrestling figures will suddenly be like, "Oh, these are cool. I want to get a He-Man now." And
Yeah, but
maybe
it's
maybe it
also
leads into that.
that one specifically. They were both Mattel properties at the time too, so I think they were easy. It was easy to do.
Yeah, but
Right.
are they
For those.
I guess the question is, are they trying to introduce new people into areas of collecting?
It could be, or it could just be for fun. I mean, it's the way I look at mashups is like they're just all bonus figures. They're things that I never thought would exist
Yeah.
and will probably not exist after production stops on those figures. I'll never see another, Dracula or Frankentron in the Transformers wave, or at least an updated version of those things, right? Those are pretty much one and dones. I don't know. Or maybe like in this case of the Motu Transformers mashups, where it's all the Motu figures with like the Transformers esque armor. I think that's more of like a, hey, you grew up between the years of 1980 and 1985. You loved both of these things as a kid, so I think it's a fun one off thing. Like I don't think it's like the future of toy making, but I do think that it's something that scratches a a nostalgic itch
Hmm.
that people were like, I never thought I would get a Skeletor with Megatron armor. That looks pretty. Like I think it's just for fun.
Right.
And if I think if it does introduce new audiences to either one of those two things that's being mashed up, then that's just an added bonus.
Okay. I just I'm being pessimistic about it. So what would be the counter argument, I guess, to my thought that this is the bottom? I'm trying to do this without leading the witness. And I'm trying to do it so it's not
You
like
can't handle the truth.
so accusatory. Because I know Jordan's not in the he's defending these
Right.
decisions in a way, but he's not the person making the decisions. But to me, it kind of feels like, well, we've made 20 He-Man figures. What now? Let's mash it up with Bumblebee. It's like,
Right.
is it that? Is it like the end of the creative? Is this like the bottom of the creative well?
I don't
That's just
necessarily
that.
think it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your sentence.
No, I think that's about it for
Oh,
my sentence.
I don't think it's scraping the bottom of the barrel. Although it might seem like that. Um, I think it just depends on how into that particular line you are,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like the last episode, you guys mentioned the old Transformers Star Wars mashup
Yeah.
line. And that was a mashup line before mashup lines were mashup lines,
Right.
right? That's
Right.
that's something where Hasbro said, "Hey, we have the Transformers property, we have the Star Wars property. Not too much is happening with either one of them right now. Why don't we do something quirky and fun?"
Mm-hmm.
And I, again, that came out, what, 2008, 2010,
Yeah.
something
It
like
was a
that.
while ago.
Yeah. Retrospectively, those toys do not hold up very well. Like
No, they
but
don't.
but they also weren't made for 40-year-old men, right? They were made for kids who want
Yeah.
to play with Transformers and play and have a
Star Wars.
fun robotic, Chewbacca or Darth Vader.
Yeah.
We can look with our 40-year-old eyes and go, that does not look good at all, right? So, where we are now, I would much rather a nice detailed TVC or a nice detailed Black Series figure. I'm as much as I love Star Wars and Transformers, I passed on that recent Mandalorian mashup. Only because, like, how many more Mandalorians and Grogus do I need? Like, I love Mando and I love Grogu, and I will admittedly probably in the future buy more Mandos and more Grogus. I just didn't feel the need to buy that specific mashup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
fair. I understand.
yeah, which
So,
is why I think they kind of brought back that mix masher wave that goes across all of the properties.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think that there's just something fun and it's one of those toy lines where it's like Lego, but for action figures. You just kind of let your imagination run wild with it. And me as a 40-year-old man, like that again has no appeal to me. But somebody who's 7, what do you mean I can give Darth Vader Megatron's cannon arm, right? So
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be conscientious of confirmation bias, but it just seems like, and I'll just end it after this for me, that the toy industry is on a decline right now. I mean, we get reports that Funko is, going out of business. Hasbro's not doing well. The only one that's really doing well is Lego, and Lego has expanded to include like other properties. So it's sort of mashing up Lego with other properties, and maybe people are looking at it thinking, well, Lego's doing this and Funko's doing that. Maybe we should do it too. And this is just a gimmick, like in the Depression era, going back to Frankenstein. I mean, during the Depression, the movie studios were losing a lot of money, and they had to do something, and it started to be the gimmicks of like the sex and the fear. It was, the monster stuff, the gangster stuff, to get people back into the theater. They were kind of forgetting the normal standards of, like, we need to be a certain level to make our movies. We have to have a certain quality and a certain standard. And they were like, well, anything goes right now because we're losing money. And I kind of
Mhm.
feel like the toy industry is maybe in that same position.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree. Glenn, were you gonna say
Well, no,
something?
no, because you just said depression, and it's like it goes back because like you had Albert and Costello meet Frankenstein.
There's another mashup. Yeah.
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 So I mean, it's not something new, and all the
Yeah.
TV shows in the
Um,
70s flip-flopping. But anyway,
no, and I agree. I think you a lot of excellent points there, and very, very true points. And we can get into the Funko thing in a minute if you want to.
Yeah.
But I guess my personal take, and I want to preface this with saying like I don't have any insider information. I don't know any. This is just me speculating,
We're in the same boat.
right? So I think with any kind of industry, in our case, the toy industry. And then you could even break that down into, oh, the Marvel toy industry or the Star Wars toy industry or the G.I. Joe toys, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
I feel like everything ebbs and flows, and we're going to have those dry spells. Like keeping it on theme with Star Wars, there was a hot minute where no Star Wars toys were made, right?
right.
So
Yeah.
so and then Star Wars came back in the early to mid 90s with the Power of the Force 2 collection, and then even though that Star Wars figures were being made, people cooled off around Power of the Jedi, and then oh, here's the Episode 1 figures, and then even after the Revenge of the Sith figures, we did have some, tertiary lines, but nothing that was like heavy hitting, right? I think all of that will ebb and flow, and I think the toy industry is in one of those ebb and flow moments
Hmm.
where it's competing with these, right? It's
Yeah.
competing
Oh
with
yeah.
video games, it's competing with computer screens, it's competing with iPads. It's also competing with itself with like the massive popularity of trading card games at the moment, right? So I don't think that the industry is going to go away. I think it's going to figure out how to regulate itself. What that looks like, I don't know. But there's times where we're probably, and this is one of those times where a lot of these companies are leaning heavy on pre-existing IPs or established IPs that have been around for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
Um, and who knows, maybe 5 years from now, we'll have an explosion of new IPs or new ideas. It's also a lot riskier and it's also a lot harder to get something new on the peg, right? So,
Yeah.
because in order to get a new thing on the peg, something old has to come off the peg
Yeah.
because they only have so much peg space. Um, but I also think, and this might be a slight tangent, so reel me back in if I go too far overboard. Um, I really feel like because of that, we're seeing a lot of indie companies and indie toy makers make a lot of these newer IPs that are inspired by those major IPs. Um, there's a there's a company called Boss Fight Studios,
Yep.
and they have this wave called Saurozoic. It's a dinosaur line, but they're all like brightly colored. The molds are very reminiscent of late 80s, early 90s Ninja Turtle molds,
Yeah.
and they're going for that feel. So I think a lot of like the newer IPs, or I say, let me put that in air quotes, quote unquote, newer IPs or more original ideas is kind of being handled by a lot of these indie toy companies at the moment. And whether or
Yeah.
not those indie toy companies turn into anything bigger, I don't know. Will we ever see? Well, I guess we do have Boss Fight Studio stuff on the pegs because they released like some Rainbow Bright figures.
But that's old.
Right, it is. You're
That's old.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But like Brutal Realm, like I don't know if we'll ever see any of that stuff on a Target peg or a Walmart peg.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the equivalent of Mask, like you might see Mask is coming back, but like
mhm.
if a company today was trying to make a product like Mask, it would never hit the toy shelves because it's not an IP. It's everything needs to be IP based. If it's not something that's previously established, these big companies are not doing it. It's left to the smaller companies to do it, unfortunately,
Mhm.
to make the
And
new product.
right, and I do agree that that's a risk that those big companies don't want to take. But I also do think on the flip side, in order for something to be successful, kind of going back to this idea of ebb and flowing,
Yeah.
I do think that in order for something to be successful, maybe it does need to go away for a while.
Mhm.
Maybe it does need to cool down. Prior to 2020, you didn't see any GI Joe stuff on the pegs. And I can't remember what the gap of year was between the start of the classified wave, working backwards to like the previous GI Joe. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how long that gap was. Um, but when GI Joe did come back, it was hard to find those figures. I mean, there was
Mhm.
also a lot of other factors. It was the pandemic, et cetera, et cetera. But um, and it. I don't know. It just I feel like because it was away for a while, those GI Joe fans flocked to it because it was new GI Joe action figures. So maybe something does need to cool down in order for it to kind of come back and have a big resurgence.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of the 30th anniversary collection for Star Wars, and that came out after Episode 3. So Episode 3 came out, it was a big push. There was
Hmm.
like entire aisles at Target dedicated
Hmm.
and Walmart dedicated to Episode 3. And then, the hype died down. That was supposed to be the last Star Wars movie, and Hasbro was kind of up against the wall, like, that's the end for Star Wars. How do we keep this continued? And they had to rely on new ideas and gimmicks. And so the 30th anniversary, each figure came with a coin.
Hmm.
They had a deep cut of figures, things that really haven't been offered before, or if
Hmm.
they have been available, like Luke Skywalker had a moisture evaporator. We had the holiday special Boba Fett. See, tying
Hmm.
it back to the holiday special. Um, there was a lot of availability, a lot of deep cuts that you couldn't get before. And then there was the Galactic Hunt. So if you were a carded collector like myself, some of them had a gold foil on the
Hmm.
Star Wars logo. So if you
Yeah.
got to the store so there was a lot of gimmicks and a lot of different things to try to attract people back. And I feel like that's just gone right now. Like you need to start getting people back into collecting. And it's just like do the bare minimum. You know, if it's not an established IP, don't bother. I just feel very down on the industry right now.
Are you like industry as a whole or specifically Star Wars?
Both.
Okay.
I know I'm not collecting anything outside of Star Wars, but it just like we're seeing the same turtles over and over again. How many He-Mans do we really need? This one's different. This one's got elbow articulation. It's
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
a knee articulation.
I think a lot of, you bring up Ninja Turtles. I think a lot of Ninja Turtles fans would agree with you, but I think that that's a lot of their disdain for NECA at the moment.
Yeah, they really
Because I'm
followed
I'm the
up.
same way, right? I do have some Ninja Turtle figures, but how many times do I need to buy the same four brothers, right?
Right.
I've got like the three versions of those guys that I'm probably gonna have, and then that's it. I don't need. And then this, it's a personal thing, but I have a buddy, my buddy Sohail, who's the biggest Ninja Turtle fan I've ever met in my entire life, and he's like, no, I want every version of every turtle. Like
Mm.
that's his thing, right?
Mhm.
So, um, I I guess it just all comes back to me like I'm not the target for it, but in this post-COVID era, we've had a huge turtle explosion.
Yeah,
Um,
with like three different companies making turtles.
Yeah. Yeah. We have Joy Toy, we have NECA, we have Playmates, and we have Best Action. So we have four, I
Four
think.
companies.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and then that's not counting the, third party not Ninja Turtle stuff
Yeah,
that people have been putting out.
yeah.
Um, I don't know, like right now, for a Star Wars fan,
It's
you know,
manageable.
it's it's manageable, but you're also like I know I just said I picked up these three Black Series figures, but the Halloween one I bought in August, September, and I,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
haven't picked anything up. And I don't buy TVC these days. And the other two, like the Han and Chewbacca, I got over the summer, so it's been
yeah.
months without seeing new Star Wars stuff specifically. But on, using the contrast of turtles, we're in a golden age of Ninja Turtle collecting. Like there's turtles everywhere. There's reissues of turtles. There's turtles from the new movie. There's turtles from the cartoon show that the movie was based on. There's reissues of some of the 2012, and so you have NECA, then you have Best Action, then you have Joy. So like right now, Ninja Turtles fans are flooded. That will not be the case in a handful of years, right? They are going to go through a drought as well, and who knows? Maybe that ebb and flow will swing back to Star Wars, and we will be inundated with Star Wars. Like we were 10 years ago whenever Force Awakens came out, right? And so I think I think it's the pendulum will swing back. I think in the case of Star Wars specifically, uh, I kind of feel like Disney or Lucasfilm, whoever, puts as much Star Wars out there as they have, kind of said, all right, let's rein it back in just a little bit.
Mm.
Let's make people want it a little bit more.
Uh,
Whereas 8 years ago, buddy, you can go and buy Halo oranges with BB-8 on them. Like that's like there was Star Wars everywhere. You couldn't escape it, right?
yeah, those oranges have gone bad. Um,
Well, I hope you're not eating them now.
well, maybe that's why I'm sick. No, I'm not sick. Um, uh, Going to Funko,
Yeah,
because I don't want to take too much of your time.
buddy, I'm
There's
good.
there's
It's
similar
Saturday. His wife is working.
My wife is actually coming home from a cruise today.
Oh,
there's similarities right now with Funko and Atari at the end and how they've had to like trash so much inventory and throw it in dumpsters and bury it in under dirt and stuff. And we saw a crash of video games after Atari crashed. And so it's like, this is probably not the same thing. It's not like the whole action figure industry is going to crash, but because
Mhm.
of those shades of similarity, it's like, how healthy is the market right now? How healthy is the industry?
Mhm.
I don't know if I would compare the Funko industry to an action figure industry, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Because I kind of, oh, excuse me.
Collectible industry.
Yeah. I think I would probably compare it more to, I know everybody's made the joke, but like the Beanie Baby industry, right?
Yeah.
Beanie Babies were super
Oh
popular
my
for
God.
however many years. And I will say kudos to Funko because Funko has managed to stay relevant far longer than Beanie Babies
Right.
ever were, as far as like collecting, right? Um, I don't know. I think Funko hit a sweet spot where they're little vinyl toys where they're not very expensive. Well, they weren't very expensive. I think now they're like 15 a piece or something like that.
Yeah.
But when they came out, they were started out at $7, $8 a piece, and
Yeah.
they were inexpensive, and you could get the one or two, and then the one or two turned into 100 or 200, and for some people, thousands. And I think Funko saw that they were making money hand over fist. It's also very easy to make one of those, right? You can acquire a license. Like they're making all this money off of, Marvel and DC Funko Pops back in what, 2006, 2007,
Yeah.
2008. It was they had the money to acquire other IPs, and these are also other IPs of things that aren't represented in action. Like there's no Parks and Rec 6-inch action figure, right? There's no this or that action figure. So I think it was easy for them to pull those and get those pay for those licenses, and everybody's fandom had at least some kind of physical form that they could put on a desk at work or maybe on a shelf or something.
Right.
I think they got too big for themselves and started to do that way too much, and they've since imploded on themselves.
Mm.
Yeah. I think
So,
the biggest mistake is there's that age old kind of, I don't know what it is, but like when something is made for collecting, it's not a collectible. It's if it's something that people want and people buy it and then they start collecting it, that's one thing. But if you're like, oh, people are collecting it, let's make them because they're collecting it. Like when you cross that line,
mhm,
it's no longer a collectible. It's overproduced. And you're telling people this is going to be a collectible, and it's not a collectible. The people
right,
want the things that are not
right.
made for collecting. And I think with Funko, at one point, they were collectibles. Like they were a very niche market. People
Mhm.
enjoyed the cutesy aspect of things. And then Funko was like, well, we can produce these and people will buy it and we can make them bigger and we can make more money. And when they
Hmm.
did that, they crossed that line
Hmm.
and they devalued their product.
No, I completely agree. Because there's a Funko documentary called Making Fun. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've watched it or
I've
not.
seen that a while ago, but I mean,
Yeah. But like before the pops, they were just vinyl bobbleheads and just, kitschy type mid-century-esque toys.
yeah,
Um, so and I actually, Jason, I think you and I have had this conversation off podcast, but I have a weird relationship with the word collectible. I mean, anything's a collectible if you collect it,
yeah,
right? I
Right.
think if go out of your way to make a 6-inch action figure and say this is a collectible, then you're doing something with a specific purpose. But at the same time, though, it's still a toy. Like we collect toys. Like
hmm
these are all toys, and they're meant to be played with. And
yeah,
I do know that there are people that, and Jason, you're an inbox collector, and I love that, right? Like anytime I go in your Star Wars room, it's a time capsule of
yeah,
how these things were packaged.
yep,
But like I mean myself, I'm an out of box collector, right?
yeah,
So but regardless if we keep them in the box or we keep them out of the box, it's still a toy, right? So I have this love-hate relationship with this term collectible because yeah, we collect stuff, but we collect toys specifically.
yeah.
Right.
So,
But I think the line is they're marketing it as a collectible.
right, and that's I think that's
That's the
also like
issue.
yeah,
What you're
Right.
saying is
yes,
100% true. Yes, we're
yes,
collecting. Yes, yeah, absolutely. These are collectibles because we're collecting it. But when a
right,
company goes, this is one out of 50,000, collect it,
yes,
that's not what you think it is.
Right.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. You're yeah. What you're saying is the minute it says collect me or collect the, well, I was going to say collect all 96, but that's Star Wars. But you know what I mean? It was as long as it says this is collectible, don't collect it.
right. Do you know what that reminds me of actually?
What?
Do you remember whenever you were reading comic books in the 80s and 90s and would have that one like ad page of just a bunch of hodgepodge of trinkets and it
Yeah.
would say collector's items and then you can like save X amount of dollars and check off which one you wanted and you could order that quote
Yeah.
unquote collector's item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, right?
Right.
Um, but I think Jason, what you were talking about, that kind of goes into exclusive territory, like
Mm-hmm.
this, like the Chase figures, because I know you guys were collecting the Chase Micro Galaxy Squadron stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
which is I have a whole separate set of opinions on, but
Yeah.
Of
I mean,
chases.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like some of those chases are 15,000. I don't know if there's 15,000 people actively collecting Star Wars. And what
Hmm.
it does is it creates animosity. People are going to buy it to try to flip it for the
Hmm.
people who actually want it, as
Right.
opposed to getting it to the right people who are collecting these things. And it just
Yeah.
creates animosity. And I imagine that's part of the reason why Glenn's backed out. It's just like, forget this. This is not
Hmm.
worth my time. I don't want to be fighting scalpers
Right.
for this
Hmm.
stuff. And
And
Well,
I
and
do.
it
Oh, go ahead, Glenn. I'm
no, no,
sorry.
and just to reiterate, yeah, that's part of it, and it's the ships that you want are the ones that are, or that they're making chases. So it's like, why am I gonna, like, was the TIE Defender a chase or no? I don't remember, but
no,
at that point, I was so mad at the line that it was like, why bother? And then it felt like they built up, and I know you appreciated it, Jason, but then they put a package of Wave together, and it was $80, $100, and I'm like, why am I going to spend that much money
just
when I
for one
only want
ship.
one ship?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And also I ran out of room because you look at your shelf and you're just like, I am just collecting these. It's the same thing that happened with me in Funko. You get to a point where you just got to stop because you run out of space, you run out of money, and you've got to reevaluate everything. So
Yep.
that's basically what happened with with the micro galaxy stuff. Is it was
Hmm.
just a perfect storm of a lot of things converging together that I just got frustrated. And it is, you get frustrated with the scalpers, you get frustrated with the chase, you get, it
Hmm.
sucks when you're at a Ross or you're at a Walmart or whatever, and you see the mom with her phone flipping through eBay, scanning the barcodes to see what they can buy, and flip. But
I so so two things. One, I agree 100% with everything that you guys have said about this.
Mhm.
I do think specifically with Micro Galaxy Squadron, and because I don't collect the line,
Mhm.
um, but I know that you guys were or are big fans. And this is more of like a reflection of Jazzwares as a whole. Is they did this across all their other lines. Whenever they were doing the
Yeah.
AEW wrestling figures, they would do the 1 in 5,000 or the 1 in 1,000,
Yeah.
and some of them were easier to find than others. And I can't say that I know as many AEW completists as I do know Micro Galaxy Squadron completists, but it just seems like that was a business model that they chose to do over across all of their lines. And they recently lost the license for AEW. And
Mhm.
I don't think that that idea is something that can sustain either a toy line or maybe even a toy company for very long. I
Yeah.
think because and I feel very bad for the guy because one of the guys who was running a lot of the stuff at Jazzwares, Jeremy Padower, his home got burned down in the California fires earlier
Oh
this
man.
year. Yeah, and it was a bummer. But he himself was a collector. He's worked for various toy companies over like he worked for Mattel for a time. And that's something that he was always very vocal about on his Twitter feed is saying, I understand the collectability of these things and these things specifically using that verbiage of being collectibles and, not for like that younger audience, but more for like that adult audiences, or at least that was implied in how he was, phrasing his sentences, but specifically going out of their way to make the chase figures because he thought that that would bring appeal to the line. Um, I think chase figures bring frustration to the line,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing but frustration. And
Right.
even though I do think I do know that scalpers exist, I do think that that's the easy scapegoat to go
Yeah.
to whenever some people go like walk into a store and
Mhm.
they see that something they want isn't there and they go, "Oh, the scalpers got to it." And like, buddy, you're not the only person who collects this thing. Somebody
Right.
else probably got to it, right? And I'm not saying scalpers don't exist because I know that damn good and well uh, when we go to that toy swap in a couple of weeks, we will see a bunch of the Rosscon stuff
Oh
on
Yeah.
yeah.
tables for, twice or
Yeah.
three times the price, right? So
Scalpers are scapegoats, but they're not the
right.
complete picture.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. But I think that that's the easy thing to go. Like, whenever somebody doesn't find the figure that they want immediately, like, oh, scalpers, like, especially where we live. We live in the Metro Atlanta area, and we know that there's a lot of us around
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Collectors and scalpers alike, and the scalpers know that there's a lot of collectors out here too, which is why they're scalpers.
I
Um,
can't stand scalpers. Like the R2D2 right now, the Home Depot R2D2, I'm seeing those
yeah,
all
yeah,
over the place on
yeah,
Facebook Marketplace, and
yes.
it's like you guys are being assholes.
Yeah, and
Is it?
Oh, look at Jason
They are.
cursing.
They
no,
are.
they
I
are.
mean, they
No,
are.
Well,
yeah,
no,
It's not
and
one
the
person. It's several people that are
right.
buying this thing and then $900. It's like you're an asshole.
Right.
yeah.
Well, and the difference between a collector and a scalper is you see people like I know you're tired of me talking about the lightsaber, but that's something easy. You see
I'm
people.
getting one from my friend Tony.
Yeah.
Did you know?
No, I just sent him a message. I'm buying it for $35.
Okay, cool.
Nice, sweet, congratulations. But you see people that they're in there, and it's just like with the R2D2. If they've got room to put 5 of them in their truck, they're putting 5 of them in their truck. And you see people with on TikTok that like, oh, I walked into Ross and they had 4 lightsabers and I bought all 4 of them.
You're
So
being an
that's
asshole.
right. That's you being an asshole and you're being a scalper. And it's like, dude, I can understand, okay, that's when I get frustrated when
Hmm.
it's like instead of just buying one, you're buying all of them
Hmm.
because you can hopefully turn a profit. And it's fun to watch. I don't know what's going on with the R2, but I've been watching the lightsabers and those things are dropping like hotcakes
Uh,
because people aren't they started them off at $200 and now they're down to 100, and it's like nobody's biting on them.
Mhm.
Yeah, the same things are happening with the R2, but they're still asking more than the $300 price point.
Mhm.
Right.
Like originally, it's funny because originally they were asking 500, 450, and now I'm seeing them crossed off 450 to 400 or 350, and it's like, y- y- I hope you get stuck with that thing.
Yeah,
Or I
like at
hope you
that
have to
point, I
sell
hope
it
you save the
below.
receipt.
I hope you have to sell it below market price because you're just being a jerk.
Right.
Mhm.
And truthfully, that's what I've been doing with the lightsabers is I've kind of been watching the return section at Ross just to see if somebody's returned one, because they're like, I can't make my money back, so I'm going to
Yeah,
return it. But yeah, it'd be fun to watch at Home Depot at end of Christmas time.
it's turning
If
into a
the home,
complaint fest.
yeah.
And another thing,
Yeah.
I don't like
Just-
You
pants.
damn cloud.
Hey, Krusty, don't you like pants? Or don't you hate pants?
I'm glad you picked that.
Yeah.
Talk about
Um,
pants.
I'm all for a well-timed Simpsons reference as Glenn yells at his clouds.
God damn clouds.
But no, and I don't think that that was a complaint fest. I mean, we all know that these are issues, and they are going to be issues in any collecting circle in any place that we go. So it's not something that's just isolated to North Atlanta. We might see it more just because we're in a busier area. Um,
Yeah.
but I think we we all know that people like that exist, and we try not to support them. And we all see those people at various toy shows and toy swaps that we have in our area. I think also, this is the last thing I'll kind of close on this. We were I'm still part of that. There's a
I was
North
gonna,
Georgia Facebook group.
yeah, I was gonna ask about that actually,
Yeah, go for it. Okay, go for it.
because Facebook has recently said, "How do we make ourselves even worse?" And then they went ahead and changed the algorithm. So I'm seeing things that don't even relate to me.
Uh-huh.
Like last night, literally, there was like I was looking at my friends section, and I assume this is a glitch in Facebook. But when you click friends, you're only supposed to see the feed of your friends. Like there's
Hmm.
a feed that shows you everything, then there's a feed that shows you specifically your friends. As I'm scrolling through it, there was about 4 or 5 people in a row that were all, it was another language. I don't know if it was Indian, Hindu, Arabic. I
Mm.
mean, I don't understand it, but it was just like, what is this glitch? And I clicked on them, and I'm not friends with them. I'm not following them. So the Facebook is broken, but if it's not this Georgia Alliance of Star Wars collector stuff, I'm not seeing it on my feed, and I
Mm.
haven't seen much from that Georgia Action Figure Collective group. And I'm wondering, is it a lack of interest, a lack of participation, or is it the algorithm saying, he's not paying attention to this and it's not making him mad, so I'm not going to show him this?
I actually think it's all of the above.
Hmm.
Because I was very active in that Facebook group. I'm not anymore, only because there just doesn't seem to be anything to be too active about. I feel like everybody who met through that group is now kind of has their sub friend groups, and they don't
Yeah.
really. And every once in a while, I'll post in there just to kind of keep it going, or if I have a fun picture that I want to share or something. But I used to make almost daily or weekly sighting reports at stores for other people. Um, trying to you know help other people out in the community. Hey, I saw this Star Wars guy over here. If you need it.
Yeah.
Um, but I do know that one of the admin moved to California of that's this page particularly.
Dang, he dipped.
Yeah, he did. He pops in every once in a while, but I think some of the other admin, like I think one of them had a kid, and so I just think it's kind of like a free for all.
Yeah.
But that page specifically, there were like page guidelines of selling figures and whatnot, and they were pretty okay with people asking anything they wanted to ask for figures, even if it was an inflated price. But I don't take kindly to people trying to take advantage of other people whenever they're other collectors, when we know that they bought this thing on clearance for $10 and they're trying to get $40 for it.
Yep.
And I call that behavior out. And I'm like, buddy, no. Like, I'll give them the laugh emoji, and then I'll comment, and I'm not saying anything online that I wouldn't say to their face at at a booth somewhere. So I think people are a little bit more conscientious about things of that sort, and then I think people have also kind of figured out the tricks of who gets what where, and what a good time to visit a store to get the thing is that you're looking for. So I think people have kind of figured out a pattern, or at least a collecting pattern for themselves, rather.
Right.
Capitalism, baby.
Hey, boo. Hey, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Are you trying to build a community or are you trying to line your wallet?
Hmm.
And I think
No, I agree.
as admins of the Georgia Alliance, it's our job to try to build community and help
Hmm.
each other out. And so
Hmm.
I try to say, like, if it's been out for more than 6 months and the price and it's not available on store shelves, that's one thing. But if it's on store
Hmm.
shelves or it's still hitting store shelves, it's like you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
You
agree.
shouldn't be buying something and then trying to flip it.
And let me tell you, if I see people trying to flip an R2D2 for $900, you best believe I'm leaving a comment saying, telling them,
I want what you're smoking.
yeah,
It's
or
Star Wars. I'm rich.
something I can't say on the old podcast here.
Well, you couldn't say it on our podcast, but you could
Yeah,
say
I
it
could
on
probably
yours.
say it on the Force, of course. But they would probably let me get away with it. Which, by the way, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
So you guys had the Ted Force, of course, on your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted, Lauren, and Andrew.
Yeah. So I had never listened to their podcast before. And after your show, I went and I started listening to them, and I love their podcast. So thank you guys for introducing me to that
You're
podcast, because
welcome.
I think they are hilarious.
You're right. They're
think
great. They're good
I think
guys.
they owe us royalties now.
So
Well, they owe us royalties because they named they stole our idea for the name.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bite-size section.
Bite size.
oh, did
Although it's not
they?
Yeah.
bite-size anymore.
Right. Now it's like,
Right.
It's king size.
well,
Just an
they haven't
episode.
recorded in a minute, I think, because Ted gets busy because he's busy at his job. So it's like they record when they get a minute. But
I was listening to the last episode where Ted was going through the Kenner run,
Yeah.
the first 12, and it
Mhm.
was two parts. And the second part they recorded like 3 weeks after the first part. And they kind of Frankenstein them together.
Because they lost
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
footage, but the audio.
I respect
Oh,
that hustle
man.
though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I need to listen to that because you get so many podcasts, you lose,
mhm.
you lose them, and you got to go back.
I mean I listen to you guys. You're my Tuesday morning drive to work.
I'm
That's the one
sorry.
person. That's the one person. When you check it Tuesday morning and there's one person, it's
Oh,
Jordan.
it's me.
Do you guys watch Visions yet? There's a new Visions, and it's kind of like dropped, and no one's talking about it. And I'm like, do I even bother trying?
Is it a Star Wars Visions?
Yeah, Star
Yeah.
Wars Visions. It's more anime. There's a sequel to the Ronin, which is the first one.
Oh, that's cool.
I need to. Yeah.
All right. I don't.
All right.
I mean,
All
if you're
right.
not a
This
fan
sounds
of
so
anime,
Yeah,
defeated.
listen, there's a Star Wars for everybody. That era or area of Star Wars probably isn't for me.
No,
I'm not an anime person, and I powered through a handful of the first season, and I didn't even watch the second season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
there
the same.
was one that people were like, "Oh, well, there's a Back to the Future reference in it." So I watched it, and it's like the first 5 seconds it's like the opening monologue, and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
great,
well done.
yeah, I'm done now." And I tried watching it,
I'm
and
out.
I'm like, this is just
Mhm. And I am in no way saying that it's bad.
right.
I am not, nope, because I know that there are tons of people that love it, and I'm here for them loving it. It's just not. This is also coming from somebody who absolutely loves the holiday special. So I recognize that the holiday special is awful. I still love it.
Right.
So
Yeah, the thing about the holiday special when I watch it is it just shows how close the original Star Wars could have been to unwatchable.
yes,
Like it's the same characters, same universe essentially, but it's like edited a different way. That movie
Mhm.
would have been a bomb. It would have been like the black hole, like no one's really talking about it, but there's a few people that are like, "Oh, do you remember Star Wars? I remember Star Wars." There's no
Mhm.
Empire Strikes Back that comes out.
Right.
It was just that close. Like
Right.
a little
Well,
bit push it this way, it's holiday special. Push it this way, it's awesome.
Right.
Well, obviously the same person didn't edit both, right?
Mhm.
No, Marcia, Marcy
Yeah,
Lucas.
George's ex-wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Marsha,
do
Marsha
I
Lucas.
I do love how in this new era of Star Wars that we're in, or this current era of Star Wars that we're in, that we're leaning into Life Day. I love that because we have a book of Life Day stories. We have, I mean, you have the Snuggie, I've got the plush. I do have the TVC figure up here. Like I would love to get a Black Series robe for my Chewie, but I just love the fact that we're leaning into Life Day
Well, if you want
and
a
some Star Wars
robe,
stuff.
apparently there's a guy in Charlotte that's been stealing all the robes out of the Black
Yes,
Series
at
figures up
Ross's.
there, the Rosses. So
He's
that maybe he's
not
dyeing them
not
red and
red robes, but
Yeah.
making them Life Day robes.
I'll put my robe back on. Um, that's the Disney marketing machine. They're like, wait a minute, there's a whole thing of a built-in fan audience for Life
Hmm.
Day, and we're not doing anything about it
Right. Well,
Yep.
I think you could
because
probably thank Batu for that.
if they really want to put their money where their mouth is, they should remaster the holiday special and throw that up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
100%. And I think it'll happen. I
Mhm.
don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying within 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
I've also been saying that for 5 years, so take that with a grain
Yeah.
of salt.
So is that
Um,
your 2031 bingo card? The holiday specials released on Disney
I'm
Plus?
gonna put it on my next year's bingo card, to be
There you
honest with
go.
you. So, but Glenn, you know, I think you're right. I think Batu, because in 2019, before everything shut down, um, Batu did this very quiet Life Day thing on
Right.
November 17th, and I watched one of the theme park vloggers. I think it was Adam the Woo, is who I was watching, and
I hope that
they
was
had
paid for.
what's that?
I hope that mention was paid for.
It is not. But if anybody wants to like this is my source. I'm citing my source.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's the academic in me. Um, the cast members had printed out Star Wars lyrics to popular Christmas songs, and they were doing Life Day caroling in front of the Millennium Falcon. And I think Chewbacca came out. I don't think he was wearing his robe. I can't remember, but then the pandemic happened and everything stopped.
Right.
And then I think now that that park has an extra holiday ticket event, they're starting to incorporate that more, and
Hmm.
I think that's really cool though. I do like that
Mhm.
because Jason, you and I were texting. We are like, I want to go, and you're like, me too.
Yeah.
But
I wanted my photo with Chewbacca in the
I
red robe.
Chelsea and I have been talking, and I think we're going to go next December. So a year from
Nice.
now is when we're going to go. So hopefully they'll bring it back next year.
Well, as long as Jollywood Nights is a success, they're going to keep doing it. So
It looks really fun.
yeah.
So everything I've seen. So
I just spend my time in Batu the whole time. That's all I would do.
All right. We'll
I
go
would
hit the
watch
rides and
do they still do the Muppet projection on Tower of Terror?
I don't think so. There was like a Muppet Carol something, Christmas Carol. Is that?
I don't know. I have to go look. I haven't-
I saw a headline. I didn't read the article,
hey, and then by next December, the Muppet,
but I'm still an expert.
Mhm.
yeah, the Muppet roller coaster will be up, and you can ride the
Yeah.
Muppet roller
Yeah.
coaster and listen to him sing Aerosmith songs.
Mm. You had me at Muppets. You lost me at Aerosmith.
Can you picture that?
Bum, bum.
It'd be that.
I want to know how close that roller coaster is going to be. Just like, oh, we reskinned it with Muppets.
Speaking of
I
Muppets.
if I can get one more theme park thing in real quick.
Sure.
Disney right now in Epcot
Mhm.
has the ability to do the funniest thing, and that is to put Last Christmas on the Cosmic Rewind and
Oh my-
get everybody whammed before before the end of Whamageddon. Just toss it in as one of the options. Don't make it every ride, but toss Wham's Last Christmas in on that ride.
And then could you imagine that they also do that with Mariah Carey just to mess with people?
That'd be awesome. I would love it.
I think that, I mean, would I like it? Yes. I think that's too recent of a song because I feel like you can get up to like the mid 80s.
Okay.
And then it gets a little dicey after that.
Gotcha.
To wrap up real quick, we got to
Mm.
do my Rogue Fun commercial here. And
All
as
right.
as part of the tickets to Rogue Fun, there is a event Friday night at the Center of Puppetry Arts. I think, it's talking about Muppets. It got me thinking about how
Hmm.
Jordan, used to work at the Center of Puppetry Arts, and you had
Yep.
some cool stories. And um, one of them, I guess, if Labyrinth, you were talking about how
Hmm.
you're holding the crystal balls that
Hmm.
the David Bowie held, like,
Yeah. I
and
so
those are on
I
display.
Yeah, so I worked there from 2015 to 2017, and in my time of employment in one department, I was also an intern in a different department for class credit. And I would show up very early during the week for my internship hours because I would work 3 or 4 internship hours, go to school, leave school, go to work, and do it all the next day. And one day, whenever it was the 30th anniversary for Labyrinth, and the scene shop rebuilt the Jareth's throne from
Yeah,
Labyrinth from the ground up, and it
yeah.
looked stunning. And my internship coordinator, her name's Athena, she and I were moving some puppets back and forth because they were getting the exhibit ready for opening, which also just so happened to coincide with Dragon Con that year. They were doing like a big labyrinth ball like the night before Dragon Con opened. And we passed by and she was like, "Oh, let's get some pictures real quick." So, we were having fun taking pictures. And then I see this like light bulb go off and she like it was like whenever you see somebody realize something and they go, "Oh."
Yeah,
I saw that like
there's Epiphany.
physically. And she goes, "Hold on a second." And then she threw a couple of nitrile gloves that we would have to wear when we were handling artifacts. She threw these. She goes, "Put these on." And she immediately went to the collection storage and she came back with a box and she looks at me and goes, "This is the perk of working here and being an intern." And she opens the box and it's the crystal balls that
Oh my
David
God.
Bowie was,
It's actually not David Bowie. It was a guy
yeah,
behind
it's like
David Bowie.
it was a stunt hand,
But
right?
David Bowie looked at them.
Yeah. And they were the screen used crystal balls. And so we each got pictures of ourselves sitting in the throne with Jarrett's crystal balls.
Yeah.
So, which was pretty awesome. It's one of the many memories that I have working there. So there's so many cool things
How difficult is it to work with Miss Piggy? Does she have that much attitude when the cameras are not in front of her
all the time,
all the
100%.
time?
Yeah, yeah. That's
She's a
it's not
diva?
a 100%, man. It's not an act. She's all about that life.
How does Kermit do it? Because he's got such a big heart. He must have the patience of
The
the
most
god or
patient, the
something.
most patient amphibian I've ever
Yeah.
met in my entire life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You have any weird Gonzo stories? Did he like fire you out of a cannon or anything?
Every Gonzo story is a weird story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I do miss. I will say I do miss opening up the museum and just saying good morning to all the Muppets in the cases.
Sesame Street stuff. Like
Yeah,
it was just
because we had we had Bert and Ernie. I mean I say we. I don't work there anymore. Um, the giant case that Big Bird
yeah.
is closed up in.
Yeah.
Uh, that was a fun time trying to dig that case out of storage. So me and another one of the guys that worked there, we had to pretty much go all the way back to like the storage warehouse and find where they had put those plexiglass pieces. And it was they weren't heavy, but they were very awkward
Yeah.
to maneuver around a very skinny walkway with. So it took the better part of an hour or two to get those out.
Are those displays climate controlled? Do you have to do anything special to maintain the materials and stuff?
The separate display cases are not, but the overall museum is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, all museums are going to be climate controlled like that.
Right. But I didn't know if they needed to have a certain humidity inside each container or whatever, each display, just to maintain the integrity of the puppets, the Muppets.
No, I think it depends on what you're displaying, but I feel like a lot of the foam latex and then just some of the other latex stuff that they've got going on, I think you're good to have like a pretty solid, consistent for everything.
Yeah.
So, but never really remember them saying, something specifically had to be kept under different conditions.
One of the cool things they have is like a mock-up of what it's like to work with Muppets. So you can like get on your knees and there's a
Hmm.
camera there and everything. You can look down and the thing that was really fun is, Josie and I were messing around. I went earlier this year to take photos to help promote Rogue Fun and let people know what's happening and how easy it was to slip into the role of a puppeteer and create a character like that.
Hmm.
And I don't even remember what I was saying, but it was like it was a turtle, and I was just like making jokes about shells and stuff, and like it just was real easy to slip into. And I'm looking down at the camera and holding my hand up next to Josie, and it's just like, oh, this is easy. Like this is fun. I
Yeah.
understand. This is
The
cool.
uh the tricky thing is, and today they've probably figured out how to mirror the screen that you're looking at. But originally it was the opposite. So if you had your Muppet and you
Oh,
looked right on the screen, it would look left. So you would have to factor in what direction you would have to look in if you're going by the screen.
wait, are you saying that's how Jim Henson used to be, or that's how the TV used to be
That
at
like
the
that's how it was recorded. So like
uh,
whenever they were doing like Sesame Street or the Muppet Show, those screens you would see it as you were watching it. So if you turned your hand right on the screen, it looked like you were turning
you're
it
turning
left. So
left?
you'd have to factor that in, which is very interesting for Carol Spinney whenever he was Big Bird because he's inside the bodysuit,
Yep.
right? That's he's inside the body puppet and he has a harness
Yep.
with a screen that he's looking in because there's no eye holes
Oh wow.
for Big Bird. There's no like thin area where he can physically see out. Everything that he's doing inside is based off what he's viewing on that monitor that he's looking down on. So, not only is he in this body puppet, he can't see, but he's also wearing this very heavy monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
one hand is doing the puppet beak, and his finger is actually working the eyebrows,
Yep.
and then the other hand is in the wing, right? The Big Bird's arm,
That's
and the
why
other
Big Bird
arm,
always has like one hand and his
yeah,
belly. That's the one that doesn't move.
yeah, because it's connected to what's called a sympathetic string. So if Big Bird lifted his left hand up, his right hand would drop, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, hopefully they have Globy from Pee-wee's Playhouse up and available. I know they're in the middle of not remastering it, preserving it.
That's cool.
And so hopefully that'll be available next May. There's no guarantee about that. And the
Mm.
other thing is when I went, I didn't see the Rankin Bass, Rudolph and Santa,
Hmm.
but I know they have those. Someone bought it at an auction, donated
Yes.
it to the museum,
Yes. It was an anonymous donor because I still have friends that work there. And
named Jordan
even
Ghastly.
no, if I had Rankin and Bass money, trust me, collecting wouldn't be an issue for me. I do want to kind of go back though. You mentioned the Globy and the conservator there. I do want to give a shout out to him. He's still there. His name's Russ Vick, and he does fantastic work. I do have a story about how five of us were, whenever we were moving the old collection storage to the new collection storage, the what is it, the sage from, or the mystic from Dark Crystal. He has that long neck, so his head had to be supported by something,
Hmm.
and you have to put archival grade tissue paper down. But his chin is all foam latex, like it's gonna stick as it slowly starts to degrade. And it took four or five of us to carefully pick it up and move it because the chin we were trying to pick it up and we saw that the chin was completely crumbling because the latex had just completely dried out.
Oh,
And when we got it to the new storage, that was one of the first things that he had worked on, and he repaired it. So like it doesn't even look like it had any issue whatsoever. So
wow.
they have a really good guy on staff
Awesome.
doing the conserving conservation. That's the word I was looking for. Um, but I didn't get a chance to see the Rankin and Bass stuff. I do know that it was an anonymous donor, and I would love to see it. It would have to be on display right now of all times because of all times during the year,
Probably,
just
yeah.
because I do know that they do a Rudolph show, and I do know at the time that I worked there, it was the most popular show and would bring in a large percentage of revenue for the year for the for the museum.
Hmm.
So
I should go see that.
yeah.
Remind me next week, Glenn. I want to talk about Outlaws. I completely been forgetting about this for weeks now.
Okay.
I bought Outlaws for like $30. I wanted to play a video game. I wanted to play a Star Wars video game, and like weeks ago, I went on Target app and it was like Outlaws, $30, half off. I'm like, oh yes, okay, great.
Nice.
So I want to talk about it next week.
Okay. We can do that.
But thank you, Mr. Jordan, for joining us. Where can they find you on
Yeah.
YouTube's?
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a great time to chat with you guys
Yeah,
on and off the podcast.
Yes.
of course.
You can find me across social media. My main thing is I have a YouTube page called Jordan Ghastly. It's a toy hunting channel. Sometimes I throw some extra stuff up there if I'm feeling squirrely. But all other social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads. It's all Jordan Ghastly. And I guess I'll go ahead and give a plug to the podcast that I do with my buddies Jake and Josh and Ryan. We do Mickey Ears. So yeah,
Sorry,
no,
it's
I
so
know why
funny
you're
because
laughing.
it's just like here's Jake and Josh and Jordan and Ryan, and the way you said it just made me freaking laugh.
Um, no, like that was done on purpose too.
Right?
But no, it's we are a Disney podcast, but we consider ourselves a comedy podcast that just so happens to talk about Disney versus the other way around. So sometimes we're funny, other times we're definitely not funny.
Something to tune into on select Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings. We record
Yeah,
Monday night, but
we record Monday night, but I don't even know the release day. I don't even think Jake knows the release schedule anymore, and he's the
whenever
one
he
that
gets
does
around
it.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
what
much
it definitely feels like. Because like on a Tuesday or like a Thursday or Friday, I'm like, oh, they released a new episode.
Sometimes the new episode doesn't come out until the day before we record the newer episode, the next episode.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out and points people to our show. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback, and we love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Afonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned and be a positive force in the collecting community. I'm gonna take these headphones off.
Happy Life Day, people.